Hello student. Today we are going to continue our standard 12 history part 1 chapter 3 topic kingship, caste and class. Okay. So in our today class our topic will be social difference within and beyond the framework of caste. Now out here we will get Dharma Sutra and Dharma Shastra, where we will see that Dharma Sutra and Dharma Shastra contain certain rules. So as we know about the Vedic age, where we read about the Varna system in which our society was divided, right? So in that Varna system, we have seen there was a four category, that was Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishyas and Sudra. There were four. So here we are going to talk about this category, what occupation they used to do, about their living standard. It was been mentioned in Dharma Sutras and Dharma Shastra. Okay. Now our first Varna, that was the Brahmins, they were basically the teachers and priests. What they used to do? They used to read Vedas, and even they used to teach Vedas and give knowledge. Clear? So they used to perform sacrifice, and also they used to get others like a king to perform it. And when they used to perform it, at the king, when they used to perform the sacrifice, they used to give gift to Brahman. Clear? That is we call Dan. Clear? Now our second Varna is our Kshatriyas. Who are the Kshatriya? They were the rulers and administrator. Clear? So if any war was going on, what they used to do? They used to engage themselves in it. As why? To protect the people, and they always used to give justice to the people, and this was the task of the Kshatriyas. Clear? And this Kshatriya, they used to study Vedas, they used to perform sacrifice, and even they used to give gift, that is Dan. Clear? Now our third Varna system, in the third category we will get the Vaishyas. Now Vaishyas, they usually used to engage themselves in agriculture activity, or even we can say them as the agriculturist. Clear? Some of the Vaishyas, they used to rear cattle, they were the traders, they were the metal workers, and some also used to be the artisan. Now in our third category we will get the Sudras. Now these Sudras, they used to do only one occupation, that is, what was that one occupation? To give services to the upper three class or the three Varnas, that is Brahman, Kshatriya and Vaishya. They used to serve these three Varnas. Okay, I hope you understand these three categories, their occupation, isn't it? Now here, as Brahman used to regard themselves as a divine origin, that is, they are only the god, and they used to keep themselves at the topmost level. Clear? And at the lowest we will see that there were the Sudras, who were regarded as them as untouchable by the upper class. Now Brahman, they thought that they need to do something so that no one can ignore or deny their words. Clear? Now for that they followed, that Brahman followed three strategy to do this. What was that three strategy? First one, they said that this Varna orders has got originated by divine, that is, it was being originated by God. Secondly, what they said, they used to give advice to the king that the rules that should be followed within this kingdom, that should be based on the sutras, that is, the king should ensure that based on the Varna category, the people should perform their occupation in the kingdom. Clear? That means whoever was employed in the kingdom, they should do their work, or they should get that particular occupation based on their Varna category. Clear? Now the thirdly, what did they say? That they had convinced the people that their status was been determined by birth. Clear? Now these strong rules and norms were being told, and it has also been mentioned in the story like Mahabharata, and even in some textual book we will get these rules and norms written out there. Clear? Now next we will move on to non-Kshatriya king. So out here what we will see is that not only the Kshatriyas, they became the king, as there are some exceptional cases also we will get, where we will see that non-Kshatriya, who doesn't belong to this Kshatriya Varna, they were also became the king and they had ruled. Okay, so now according to Shastra, what we have seen was that only Kshatriya could be the king. But however, we have seen that some important ruling lineage who belong to different origin, they also became the king. We have some evidence like that. So out here, we can talk about the Maurya. Clear? Who rule vast empire for long period of time, that is for about 150 years they have ruled. Now in Brahmanical text, if we will see, we will get that regarding this Maurya, it was been described as the low origin. That means they were been described as a low origin on the basis of the sutra. Clear? So they were not supposed to rule or be the king, but we have seen this Maurya were not the Kshatriyas Varnas, but they have become the king and they have ruled for 150 years. Now next, the Sunghas and Kanvas, they were the successor of Maurya. Now who are they? Sunghas and Kanvas, they were the belonged to the Brahman. They were the Brahmans. They became the successor of the Maurya and they have ruled as a king. Clear? Now next we will see regarding the third evidence, like Sakhans ruler who ruled around 2nd century BC. They came from Central Asia and ruled northwestern part of Indian subcontinent. Clear? They were not the Kshatriyas. In fact, in Sanskrit texts, what we will see that it is believed that these Sakhas ruler were malicious. That means it meaning was uncivilized people. They were being termed as uncivilized people, or outside, they belong to the outside the caste. Clear? Even they were the uncivilized people, they have become the ruler, they have ruled the dynasty. Now there was the Rudradaman, who was the base Sakha's ruler. He has rebuilt Sudarshan Lake, and he was familiar with the Sanskrit text. That is, he know that how Brahmins were treating the people. Clear? Now out here, what we can see was that, what we can understand is that during that time the political power was open for everyone. Now who could get support of the people and could be able to collect the resources, not being dependent upon anyone else, they can be the king and they can rule. So to be a ruler by birth, Kshatriya origin was not required. Clear? If I am quite strong, if I have get the support of the people and I am able, without being dependent upon anyone, I have collected the resources, I have captured a lot, that means I am powerful, I can be the king. So by origin, I don't have to be the Kshatriya. Clear? So one interesting thing also we came to know was that there was a Satavahana dynasty ruler, that was Gautami Putra Sri Satakani. He claimed that to be Brahman, and he used to believe that he has destroyed the pride of the Kshatriya. Okay, so where we talk about the right occupation based on the Varna category, but in some exceptional cases we have seen that it was totally opposite. Clear? Now next we will move on to Jatis and social mobility. Now in out here in Brahmanical text we get Varna. Clear? Varna system we have seen. Similarly, like that we get Jati too, by birth. Also we have got. However, we know that Varna was based on 4 categories, but Jati was in number. For Varna 4 was there, but Jati there was no limited. We have seen there was unlimited for the Jati. When Brahman authority, they used to meet with a new group who doesn't belong to this 4 Varna system, they were called Jati. Clear? Now for Jati there was no limited, as it was in number. Now for example, if we take like Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Christian. Clear? Now in Hindu we will see there were different category was been divided. Clear? Now in Muslim also same thing we will get, there was been different category was been divided, like Pathan is there, Muhammadan is there, isn't it? Now Sikh also different category was been divided. So if in Brahman authority meet with any new group, like we said about Nishad, who are basically used to stay at forest. Now what they used to do, their livelihood, they were the hunter Clear? And they used to gather the food from the forest. That means on the basis of their livelihood, they were being termed as uncivilized, as they used to live in village like animal. Clear? By the Brahman. So jati, when they made on basic of their occupation, if you will see, they were being categorized on the basis of their occupation. Okay, like we get goldsmith. Some jatis were there who used to do the work of goldsmith. Some were the metal workers. Now some out there we get evidence also that some Brahman was also there who was the goldsmith person, that was the Sunar. Now what we have seen, they were formed an organization called guild, who was from jati. So what does it means? The jati, those who used to share the common occupation or profession, they were being organized into guild. Clear? That means they are doing particular same occupation. For that they were being under the determined as guild. Now interestingly, stone inscription was also being found in Madhya Pradesh, where it was been recorded as about the guild of silk weaver. Now this silk weaver was from the Gujarat, and they have migrated to Madhya Pradesh. Why? Because they got the facility in Madhya Pradesh to expand their silk trading. Clear? And they were also known as Dasapura. Clear? Now next we will move on to beyond the four varnas integration. Okay, so out here we will see that tribal people, they were social practice were not been influenced by the Brahmins. That means what was the Brahman idea was there, they were not too much following that ideas, they were not been liking the ideas. So what they were being called by the Brahman as they were the odd people and they were the uncivilized people. Now these tribal people, they were not knowing much of agriculture activity, they were not knowing, and even they could not speak the Sanskrit language, so they were called Meliches. Okay, or they were the outcast people, or they were for that reason they were being uncivilized, they don't know anything as much, so they were the outcast people, they belong to the lower caste, so for that reason they were being treated as down towards by the upper class. Now these outcast people also, we have seen that they used to have their ideas and belief, they used to share their ideas and belief with the upper class varna, that is higher varna people, and this type of relation also we get, relationship also as an evidence we get between the outcast people and the higher caste varna people. In Mahabharat story we have got this evidence. For example, you can you know about the Eklavya, isn't it? So who was Eklavya? Eklavya was a forest dweller boy, he never used to go to the battlefield, isn't it? Now Eklavya, what he want, that he want to get knowledge of arches, that is in Hindi we call Dhanush Gyan, he want to learn, and that also from Dronacharya, who was giving this knowledge to Pandavas. Clear? Now he has learned these arches from Guru Dronacharya by hiding and seeing how Dronacharya was teaching to Arjun. He has seen and he has learned from Dronacharya. So out here what we have seen, the idea between the high varna and the low varna was being exchanged. Clear? Next example also we can say about the Pandavas were having 5 brothers. Second brothers was the Bhim, who got marriage with Hidimba, that was Rakshasni, who gave birth to a child to. Isn't it? When you will get in the blue content in your book out there regarding this story, where it was been written in details that Bhim went to the forest, as Hidimba was the forest dweller daughter, by saying that she got loved with Bhim and was been married. As the Bhim was belonged to the upper caste, he got married with the lower caste. Clear? So this type of evidence we also have got, that the upper class, that is higher varna system, has mixed up, exchanged their idea with the lower caste people or the outcast varna system. Clear? Now in this beyond the 4 varnas we will get some subordination and some conflict also we can see out here. Now out here what we can see is that here the Brahman, who consider themselves as the upper class people. Clear? Now, out here, Brahman, who consider some people as the outsider, outside the caste system, they used to treat them. They divided the society also on the basis of the four categories in Varnas we have seen, and the lower caste they have termed them as untouchable. Clear, as we all know. Now, those who consider themselves as the upper class, they consider themselves as pure. Who were the pure? That was Brahman, Kshatriya, and Vaishyas. They were the pure. Okay, and what they used to do? They used to avoid taking food and water from this fourth category, that was from the Sudras, who were considered as untouchable, as because they consider them as the impure. Now, the activities this untouchable people or the fourth category people used to do was that they used to handle the dead bodies of human being and animal. Clear. And the one those who used to handle this activity, they were called chandelas, and this activity used to be performed by heredity. Like the chandela's son will become the next chandelas, he will do that activity. That son will become the next chandelas and he will perform that activity. That means this activity will go on to the hereditary system. Now in Manu script, it has laid down the duties of the chandelas. Clear. Now what was the duty? That Chandela, they were supposed to live outside the village. That means they have to live in the forest. Second thing we will get, that they were supposed to use the discarded utensil. That means the utensil which was not being used by the Brahman, Kshatriya and Vaishyas, that utensil, in that utensil they used to eat their food. Now third, what we will see is that they used to wear the clothes of the dead person. Means if a person died, their clothes used to be given to the chandelas. They were only supposed to wear that cloth. Clear. Now fourthly, what we will see, that they were only wearing the ornament that was made of iron. Clear. Now last what we will see was that they were not supposed to work in the village and cities at night. If they were being found, they were used to be punished by the people. Now out there we will see that there was a Chinese Buddhist monk was there, Fa Hin, who has wrote about these untouchable people, that how they used to work on the society. That means if they has to work, they have to make a sound by clapping, and when they were passing on the street, suppose if a untouchable people, lower class people were passing on the streets, they have to make a sound by clapping, so that the higher caste people, they will hear this sound and they will get inside their house, so that they were avoiding to see these lower caste people, as because they used to think that if they will see their face, they will become bad, so they were avoiding them. Now another Chinese pilgrim also we will say is that Zhuang Jiang. He observed that the execution and scavenger were forced to live outside the city. They were not supposed to live within the society. They have to live their life in the forest. Clear? So in our today class, what we have discussed was about the social difference between the caste system, their occupation, their category we have discussed. Okay, so till today, till this much. Okay, thank you.